Hello, everyone. I am SpartaChris, and I am the defender of the multiverse. Thank you for joining me for this, currently untitled show. If anyone has an idea of what to call this, please leave us a comment down below and leave a comment down in this comment section down below. Dear Lord, I can't speak right now. I am doing this by myself today because tabletop junkie, my good friend, is unfortunately away from his computer. Yes. Lazy scumbag. Love you, man. But anyways, how has everyone's weekend been? Or how has everyone's week been, as well as their weekend? Mine has been busy as heck. Love the holidays. Uh, hey, Mrs. Tabletop. Would like Mrs. Work. I don't understand that. Geez, didn't cough. I've been I was sick a couple weeks ago, and I've had this annoying, persisting cough ever since. It's annoying the heck out of me. But anyways, how's everyone's week been? Mine has been busy as heck, and that has to do with the holidays as well as shorthandedness at work. Lovely stuff, that if you work in any job that provides some kind of customer service, you all know that. But anyways, besides all that, leave a like and leave a comment or subscribe if you've not, all that fun jazz. Here we go. So we talked about a little bit about this. Table and I talked about this a little bit last week. One of the longest running sci-fi TV shows out in the world, Doctor Who, has now gone through his newest regeneration cycle, or as it's now, bi-generation, because the dimwit that we once thought was a hero, Russell T Davies, decided to completely rewrite canon of Doctor Who, along with the the timeless child that was done underneath Jodie Whittaker's tenure as the Doctor. So I just want to like throw this out there. So one other YouTuber slash commentator on the wonders of geekdom. His name is the Master of TDS. He posted something. He posted a nice little video on Twitter. So his initial he posted. I made Doctor Who post that upset people, and here is my official response. So he initially posted this comment saying David Tennant is the Doctor and Ncuti Gatwa is Ncuti Gatwa. So basically, it's his version of Spider-Man is Spider-Man and Miles Morales is Miles Morales, or Peter Parker is Spider-Man and Miles Morales is Miles Morales. So here is this. It's a nice little funny little video.
Here we go again.
So yeah, people are flipping out about his nice little video about that, his nice little comment about that, and he made a nice little video to make fun of them. Seriously, people, go follow this guy. He is wonderful. Him and his wife, Writing Raven, the fun people to follow. Yep. Let's see. Doctor Who season 3, episode something. Wrong. Wrong way around, hun. Ncuti Gatwa is the Doctor. David Tennant is something else. Is Ncuti Gatwa? No, I'm pretty sure in the show when they bi-generated, Ncuti Gatwa said, "No, I'm me, not you," or whatever.
Look at you.
Peter Capaldi. He was a great Doctor. He unfortunately had a lot of poor stories written for him. It's disappointing, very disappointing. He could have had some great adventures. There are some great adventures, but yeah, he unfortunately did not get the best stories. It seemed like all the best stories were given to his predecessors, David Tennant and Matt Smith.
I gotta be a decent species. Planet of the pudding brains.
Yes, Planet of the Pudding Brains. Yeah, that's all of these people here. But further on down the Doctor Who is crud rabbit hole, we have this interesting story from Bound into Comics. So one of the previous Doctors is Crystal Eccleston. Uh, he did it for 1 year, and then when it was first revived in 2005, and he then left under its conflicting circumstances. I think it more than likely has something to do with the uh I mean, I've heard multiple opinions about what happened, and he's given alternate uh stories about what happened as the reason why he left. It was around the time that he was casted in the GI Joe live action, the first GI Joe live action movie, and that was the story that I heard at first, was that he left because the Russell T Davis did not want to end the revival of Doctor Who just for Eccleston to come back later on. So he kind of just said, "Okay, you're gone. You're out of here. We'll find a new Doctor." In which Kate brought us David Tennant as the 10th Doctor. But anyways, I have no clue what is what with Bounding into Comics. So the former Doctor Who lead Crystal Eccleston declares he will only return to the series if BBC sacks Russell T Davis and current creative team. Yep. In giving a voice to the very real frustration of British franchise's longtime fans, actor Crystal Eccleston has revealed that his one condition for beginning to consider a reprisal of his role as the Ninth Doctor of Doctor Who's titular protagonist is a removal of the series' current creative team. I think a lot of Doctor Who fans would agree. The film maybe portrayed the first man to betray the Time Lord following the series' return from its 1989 to 2005 hiatus. Eccleston, they kind of forget about the Doctor Who movie that was released in, I think it was the 90s. So nice little hop and skip over that. Uh, that one was starring Paul McGann. Eccleston spoke to his potential return to the TARDIS while speaking to attendees of Doctor Who Q&A panel held as part of the recent 2023 edition of the UK-based For the Love of Sci-Fi Con. Okay, and here's the video. So if anyone wants to watch this, you can look it up. Christopher Eccleston and Billy Piper, who Billy Piper was the Doctor's first companion in the revival show, New Who. Doctor Who panel for the love of sci-fi, drawing thunderous applause from the crowd after asking if they would all love to see Eccleston come back as the Doctor, right? Question mark. And he was a good Doctor. He was perfect for the revival of the show. The panel host then directly pressed Eccleston as to what would have to happen if for that to become a reality. Sorry, I am dry mouth right now, so I'm going to be stumbling over my words. Hold on 1 second. Okay. In turn, a fan favorite Doctor actor adamantly declared, sack showrunner Russell T Davis, sack executive producer Jane Tranter, sack producer Phil Collinson, sack producer Julie Gardner, and I will come back. Now, this is something very interesting that Nerdrotic brought up in one of his shows about when this story popped up on his show, is that all these people were not in charge during the 50th anniversary, and he rejected coming back for that one. And so that's when John Hurt came into the picture to play the War Doctor, the Doctor that was in between Paul McGann and Herschel Eccleston's doctor in their regeneration cycle. Uh, Notably, all four members of Eccleston's sacking list previously worked on the collective Doctor Who franchise during the revival era. Collison on the Sarah Jane Adventures, which I will admit is not. I watched that and it's not a bad TV show. That one's mostly aimed towards kids. So, uh, but sadly, it did come to an abrupt end because the unfortunate passing of, oh God, the actress who played Sarah Jane. She was amazing. She was the Doctor's companion at the end of the third Doctor, who was played by John Pertwee, and the beginning of the fourth Doctor, who was played by uh, oh God, in my mind all of a sudden went, Tom Baker. Let's see here. And Tranter, Gardner, and Davis on the core series before returning to the 2023. In 2023 to helm Judy Gatwa's current role in the run in the role, doing so under the banner of Tranter and Gardner's Bad Wolf production company. To this end, Eccleston revealed that his major sticking point with Collison, Tranter, and Gardner's attachment to the show was how they supposedly took credit for the show's success after doing all they could to distance themselves from its production. Bleh. Bleh, 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 bleh. Okay. Questioned in the follow-up of by the panel host, did you find it hard to be like associated with the character? Eccleston adamantly declared, "Not at all. I love being associated with the character. I just don't like being associated with those people and the politics that went on in the first series." So, uh, here in the United States, we call them seasons. A show's seasons, and the show has seasons, and the whole show is a series. Over there, it's their seasons are series. So you have series 1, series 2, series 3, yada yada yada. The first series was a mess, and it wasn't due to with me or Billy. He added it was to do with the people who were supposed to make it, and it was a mess. Interesting. Further elaboration on his disdain for the executives. The Thor, the Dark World star. Oh, that's right. That's right. He was also the leader of the Dark Elves in Thor: The Dark World. Star recalled, and the first series of the show of any show, companion Rose Howard actress Billie Piper did was ITV2's sexy comedy series Secret Diary of a Call Girl. Okay, interesting. First series question mark. First series, nobody wanted to know. The BBC were like, we're going to keep a big distance from this, and then as soon as it was a success, they were all up close going, I was responsible for this. So basically what he's saying there is that these people were trying to keep themselves away from trying to keep the show at arm's distance, but as soon as it became successful, they jumped in and says, yeah, we're the reason why this was all successful. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But like I said, Crystal Eccleston as the Ninth Doctor, oof, wonderful, wonderful doctor. He was a wonderful doctor, and it was sad that he only had one season. But they were all at a dance like, this is a folly, he continued. This is Eccleston's folly, Piper's folly, Russell T. Davis's folly. And then when it worked, suddenly, oh yeah, I worked on that. Well, that is a pain in the butt. They wouldn't they wouldn't come anywhere. Seriously, down in the comments, you gotta work on your editing here. Your writing and editing. They wouldn't come anywhere near us, and then they jumped on the bandwagon, concluded Eccleston. Those kinds of politics, I'm not very good at handling. I can't swallow that. Yeah, I kind of agree with him on this fact if what he's saying here is true. It's kind of really annoying that when you are a person, you kind of get very little credit, but from like producers and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, when you yourself kind of puts your blood, sweat, and tears into something and it works out great, they also want to jump in and says, "Oh no, we were part of this too. We put some effort into this." It it's annoying. It is annoying. While the former series star did not speak to its specifics with Davis during the panel appearance, it appears to stem from the previously discussed breakdown of his relationship with the four across his first time on Doctor Who. What is this one? What is this one? This one is the the Empty Child. Oh yeah, this one time everyone lives. While blah, 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 my relationship with the three immediate superiors, the showrunner, the producer, and the co-producer, broke down irreparably during the first block of filming, and it never recovered. Eccleston explained to UK-based entertainment news outlet Radio Times in 2018, "They lost trust in me, and I lost faith and trust and belief in them." Well, I mean, yeah, if they're saying crud about you behind your back, I can understand if you don't want to have anything to do with them. I can understand that. Uh, and when they want to try and take credit for what you did. When I left, I gave my word to then showrunner Russell T Davis that I wouldn't do anything to damage the show. He further detailed, "But they did things to damage me. I didn't criticize anybody." Well, you're definitely criticizing people now. Pressed as to whether Davis knew of Eccleston's issue with his superiors, the actor declared, You're a showrunner, you know everything. That's your job." Basically, okay, so he's basically saying right there that yes, Davis knew about it. Unfortunately, Eccleston did not note whether or not any of his anger towards the four Doctor Who stewards was based on the series' current direction. Well, it would be interesting to hear if he would say if he would support that or not, but actors don't seem like not many actors out there seem to be willing, especially British actors, seem to be willing to speak out against the bullshit. Well, I mean, there is that one comedian. Oh God, I can never remember names. I'm horrible at remembering names. He was in Life of Brian. He was a part of the Monty Python series. Moving on, we have another Doctor Who article that talks about the bombing of Doctor Who from comic book news. Doctor Who ratings bomb with Judy Gatwa by a generation. Unfortunate. That is such a shame. Oh well. Geronimo, the BBC, Doctor Who, Disney Plus, and Russell T Davis could be in a heap of trouble, judging by the ratings for the episode involving the introduction of the new Time Lord Judy Gatwa. Normally, whenever a new Doctor is introduced, the ratings see a large spike as fans are curious about who the new Doctor will be and how it will all unfold. Yes, this is very true. You do have a spike, and then you have a slow trickle of people interested in the show. As people lose interest in the show. Happened during Eccleston. It happened with David Tennant, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, and even Jodie Whittaker, who is the first female doctor that we would lovingly call Dr. Karen. Normally, blah, blah, blah. However, this isn't the case with Saturday's special, The Giggle, which features David Tennant regenerating into Judy Gatwa, as they are nothing to laugh about. Yeah, he regenerates and he takes half of the doctor's clothes, and he's basically runs the remainder of the show of that episode in his underwear. Why that happens, I have no clue. The Giggle is the least watched. Less viewers show up for the Giggles is the least watched, and the Giggles is the least watched of the new three specials, coming in at 4.62 million viewers. That's down from the 4.83 million from the second special, Wild Blue Yonder, and the down from the 5.08 million from the first, the Star Beast. The marks of a loss of nearly 500,000 viewers is only 2 weeks. That's not good. As I previously wrote, it'll be quite a revealing if more viewers don't show up for the regeneration episode, which is exactly what happens if they are already not showing up for the most popular Time Lord David Tennant, and also the most popular companion, who's played by Catherine Tate, Donna Noble. Uh, it's definitely not a good sign for the 15th Doctor. No, it's not. If you can't bring people and keep people in for these two, like one of the best companion teams out there, next to the Fourth Doctor and Sarah Jane Smith, and then you kind of lose the show. You very much you're kind of it's done. This show's done. Worth of what about the show's Disney Plus ratings? Yeah, this uh BBC made deals with Disney, so now Doctor Who is over on Disney Plus. Except for the stuff that is currently out there, you can find the rest of that stuff over on HBO Max, or I should say Max. You have everything up to the end of Jodie Whittaker's tenure as the Doctor, from Eccleston up to Jodie Whittaker's as the Doctor. And I highly recommend go watching them up until the end of Peter Capaldi's tenure as the Doctor, because everything with Jodie Whittaker is horrible. Worth of mention regarding Disney Plus is that while we still don't have the ratings, as Nielsen is always weeks behind, Samba TV hasn't released any numbers. Samba TV usually releases numbers for the new shows on Disney Plus in regards to the numbers of households that have watched the show in the first 5 or so days of release. However, Samba TV has been silent about the data for the 3 Doctor Who specials. Likewise, Disney also has been silent and hasn't made any official announcement as they did for the Loki season 2 and Ahsoka. If the ratings are bombing in the UK, which is the home of the series, it's not far-fetched to think Doctor Who is also bombing on Disney Plus for the rest of the world. On the plus side, is at least the ratings for the Trudy Gatwa aren't as bad as Jodie Whittaker. See below. But again, nowhere near previous numbers. Worth of note is you can see the massive dive in ratings from Smith to Capaldi to Whittaker back to Tennant Regeneration, which shows just how many fans have stopped watching the once beloved series. So you have Eccleston to Tennant, Eccleston regenerating to Tennant's Doctor in Series 1, The Parting of Ways. Eccleston regenerating to, or Tennant regenerating to Smith in the Series 4, Journey's End. So, nice big spike there, and that's because Tennant brought in the people. Series 7, Time of the Doctor, in a little bit of a dip with Matt Smith turning to handing the show over to Peter Capaldi. Series 10, the Twice Upon a Time, it did lose a lot of people there. Like I said, Capaldi was a great Doctor. Unfortunately, he did not have a lot of good stories to tell. Capaldi handing the show over to Whittaker, and Series 13 with the Power of the Doctor. Big drop. It's even worse when the show first came back. Oof. Whittaker handing everything over to Tennant, and there was a nice little jump, but not much, in the giggle with Tennant handing things over to Judy Gatwa. And then here is the 14th Doctor's regeneration. It's just depressing because how great that show used to be. Let's see here. Moving on from there, we do have a nice little dip into anime. So for those of you that are big anime fans, give me 1 second here. Nice little drink. everyone should know. For those who are big anime fans, everyone should know about One Piece. It's been around for a while. It's got a lot of seasons, a lot of episodes, and they just recently did a live adaptation on Netflix that has been quite popular. I have not seen it yet myself. I, it's on my list of things to do. I know I got a huge list. But in recent announcement, One Piece is getting a new anime adaptation at Netflix. Don't know how that. I don't know. Understand that. You already have a anime adaptation. Why do you have to redo it again? Interesting. I don't know. Netflix has announced the hugely popular manga One Piece is getting a new anime adaptation starting with the iconic East Blue saga, sending a wave of excitement through the global anime community on the second day of Jump Fest 2024. Titled The One Piece, the anime series will be produced by the renowned Wit Studio, recognized for their work on hit anime such as Spy X Family and Attack on Titan seasons 1 through 3. Currently in production, The One Piece will be streamed worldwide exclusively on Netflix, marking a significant collaboration with the One Piece production committee, making it made up of representatives from the Suishi Okay, you know what? I'm not going to make an attempt to try and pronounce the name, so forgive me. Fuji Television Network and Tohei Animation Corporation. Toei. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, folks. I can't pronounce words. In a joint statement, the committee expressed their enthusiasm for this groundbreaking project, which will be distinct from the TV anime series that was captivated audience for over 25 years. With the One Piece, the committee aims to provide viewers with a fresh yet familiar experience, utilizing cutting-edge visuals technology to reimagine Luffy's adventure uh, through the beloved East Blue Saga. Uh, okay. The teaser trailer. All I can say is so here is the live action version. I don't understand why. Okay, so you have the live action series, which you're already starting to work on season 2 for, but then you're also going back and you're doing another anime adaptation. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Why? Besides that, all I can say is good luck on that department. I hope everything works out for you. I don't understand it. But good luck. Okay. I don't know. What do you people think? Do you think are you gonna watch the Netflix anime adaptation of One Piece or the One Piece, or are you just gonna stick with the original animated one? Did you watch the live action adaptation of One Piece on Netflix? And how do you feel about it? Leave a comment down below and tell me about it. So along with that, we have a nice little, uh, as everyone knows, DC is currently trying to compete with Marvel in, uh, sorry, I was distracted by something. Uh, DC Comics has been trying to compete with Marvel on the big screen, and unfortunately, they've not had that best of luck. You have Zack Snyder's attempt with Man of Steel, uh, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and the uh, Aquaman movie, the Justice League movie, the two versions with the Zack Snyder's version and also the Snyder cut, and also the Joss Whedon cut, the Flash, which yikes, Black Adam, yada yada yada, all those movies, and yeah, so then, because of those failings, the DC, Warner Brothers Discovery handed the reins over to James Gunn. Well, it has been recently, I guess, according to, uh, according to comic comic book news, Scoop confirms Matt Reeves, who is the guy who worked on uh, the Batman movie that came out a year ago. Was it a year ago? Yeah, I think it was either a year ago or was it earlier this year. I don't remember. Is involved in the DCU. It's no longer the DCEU, which was the previous attempt, the DCU reboot with James Gunn. Uh, it's learned that Matt Reeves is indeed involved in the DCU reboot, along with James Gunn, as my DC Insider first filled at me in back in 2019. Of course, Matt Reeves is developing its separate Batman universe with Robert Patterson, the Penguin series starring Colin Farrell. I don't know how I feel about that series. I mean, he did a great job as the Penguin, but at the same time, is why does there need to be an entirely spin-off series? It's kind of like what they're trying to do, what Sony's trying to do with the Spider-Man series. Uh, yeah. It was also been said Matt Reeves has been developing a Batman Arkham series, but it was thought to be part of Patterson universe. James Gunn has now confirmed that the Arkham series is part of the DCU. So you had this. I don't know how I feel about it being separate Batman universe, but you then also have the DC universe, DCU, that's gonna have this being headed by James Gunn, and Matt Reeves is apparently contributing to that. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I enjoyed the first 2 hours of the Batman. Wasn't perfect, could be better. Uh, but, like, the last hour was not needed. It could have been a 2-hour movie. It was stuffed with filler. A fan questioned Gunn, "Sir, could you tell me if Matt is producing another Batman-verse project other than the Batman 2, Penguin, and Arkham?" Gunn replied, "Right now, Matt is producing Arkham as a DCU series, so there's just the two for now." Gunn also confirmed that the Arkham series was also planned for the DCU. A fan asked, "Why is it that it's changed from Batman Universe spinoff to a DCU project?" Sorry, didn't want to cough in your ear. Gunn replied, "It wasn't changed. It's also probably not a stretch to think that Matt Reeves' Arkham series will connect to the DCU Batman Brave and the Bold movie, which the Flash director Andy Muschietti is directing." Oh, that's right. You also have that with. Oh God, I don't want that guy to be touching anything with Batman after what he did at the Flash. Oh dear Lord. Oh, geez. Brave and the Bold will feature a new Batman along with his son Damian Wayne. Yes. Nope, not Dick Grayson. Not Jason Todd. Not uh, uh, Tim Drake, but Damian Wayne. Um. So yeah, and then you have here the comments between the two. He just needs to stay off of Twitter. He does too much on Twitter. Uh, Okay, so folks, comment down below. Are you excited for the Matt Reeves being involved with DCU? I am questioning it. I'm really questioning it. I'm really questioning on where DC is taking their live action cinematic universe. I'm, yeah, yeah. Further down the DC rabbit hole, you have. Hold on one second. Where I tried to find where I'm going. You have David Corn Sweat. Corn Sweat. It sounds like I'm saying corn sweat. fully immersed as the new Superman, says James Gunn. James Gunn. David is fully immersed as the new Superman, as co-head of the new DCU, and director James Gunn continues offering updates on social media. Stop giving us updates. Just work on the damn project, please. Gunn comments on Corn Sweat. If there's a better way to pronounce that, please, people, let me know. Jeesh. The new Superman suit recently casting rumors and the new DC opening sequence, the Batman 2, the Joker 2 movie, uh, and even reveals the score for Superman Legacy has been worked on, but doesn't have a composer as of yet. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Seriously, they need to bring back the red trunks, but it doesn't look too bad. I will say that he does look good as a Superman character. Storyboard featuring new Man of Steel reveal regarding David as the new Man of Steel. It's already known he's gone through quite the body transformation. In a short few months, images have surfaced on social media showing the 30-year-old actor going from skinny pretty boy to jacked Adonis. Okay. Uh, how's David's doing? A fan questioned on the thread. Gun enthusiast replied, "I love that guy. Funny, fully immersed." Another fan, curious about the look of the new suits, asked, "Will his Superman suit be more classic, modern, or something totally new and different?" Gunn replied, "All of the above." James Gunn also previously said that the big reveal of David as Superman won't be coming for a while. Gunn said that the new David Superman Legacy suit will definitely not be revealed to the world until after we're filming. Okay, so I guess that's not the suit. Well, I guess it's a Photoshop. So okay, yeah, it says fan art. So my bad. But either way, it does look good on him. Gunn also shared a storyboard he has been working on, revealing that the camera angle in play. Spoiler: will probably not. Well, probably not. I'm consistently drawing Superman Legacy shot and storyboard over everything. Here's one I just sent to my department, headed to understand how tight a shot was going to be. We had been discussing. Posted Gunn. So okay, this is a little bit third gradish, but hey, I guess if it gives you the idea, I guess it gives you the idea. Another fan art. This one actually doesn't look too bad. You actually do have the red trunks. Everyone wants the red trunks back. On those casting rumors. Regarding the casting rumors, Gunn recently showed some shot down rumors his Guardians of the Galaxy Marvel actors would be boarding Superman Legacy. Despite Palm being one of my favorite actors to work with, this is not true. Not only is Palm Clementif not in the movie, but no one has ever been discussing her being in the movie. Nor to be. Do I have any idea what role she would be possibly playing? I have no idea where this came from," he said. Gunn added, Miriam isn't presently cast either, but I'd love to find a place for her." A fan happened to be also remarked, maybe it's a thing where they heard Palm is in talks for the DCU role and just immediately assumed it was Legacy. James Gunn shot back. "She's not in talks. We talked," meaning she and I privately. 1 second, folks. When you're here doing all the talking by yourself, you get a dry mouth real quick. Where was I? Another fan also said Palm said earlier in the year that you two have discussed the possibility of the role in DCU. Does that still hold true? 1000%. A specific character that has nothing to do with Superman Legacy, said a gun, adding another post. I honest to God can't imagine where the palm thing came from. It's so weird to me. Usually the actual trades aren't this far off. Another fan also questioned, so is it true that Miriam Shore has been cast as the head of the CIA in Legacy Superman Legacy? No, it's not. I'd like to find a place for Miriam in the DCU, maybe even in Legacy. But she isn't presently casted in anything, James Gunn said. So that is that. Speaking of casting, I am making sure. I am making sure I'm just popping over here. Okay. Speaking of casting, there has been one casting confirmed by the Hollywood Reporter. Superman Legacy, Miriam Short joining James. Okay, so this is where that I guess this is where that kind of popped up from, I guess. Wow, I did not read that correctly, did I? Hold on, folks. When was this posted? Okay, so that was posted today. So we're going to ignore that because that is not true. I did not read that correctly when I first originally looked at those two. My bad. Uh, but I did mention Zack Snyder earlier, so we'll jump over on the little project that he's working on, which is, as many people have known, if you have been watching if you've been keeping a close eye on things coming from Netflix, you have Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. Well, the reviews of Rebel Moon have begun to pop out, and they don't look so great. So Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon gets cut down by critics. Now you got to remember, there's been in last 5+ year, critics and audiences have not been on point with each other. So let us begin, shall we? Reviews of Zack Snyder's Netflix feature Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, have landed, and prospective viewers may find their excitement for the film getting eclipsed by a rough appraisal. The film, streaming on December 21st, so in, excuse me, 4 days, folks, tells the story of a mysterious outsider providing hope to the denizens of a distant moon amid threats of war, which a cast that includes Sophia Botella, Charlie Hunman, uh, Dijman Hunso. Yeah, folks, I can't pronounce words. I can't pronounce the names. The voice of Anthony Hopkins, and the voice of Anthony Hopkins. The film is in the first of two-part saga, with the follow-up entitled "The Scargiver," yet to hit the streams in April. Rebel Moon starts in its life as a decade ago as a pitch for a Star Wars project before getting redeveloped as its own entity. And indeed, a number of critics reviews the film, making note of the perceived similarities to George Lucas's created franchise. Notably, streaming projects are known for succeeding without need for the spin-off of critical acclaim, suggesting a disconnect between reviewers and general audiences interest, particularly when it comes to subscribers sampling. Yes, like I said, critics and professional critics and uh, general audience don't normally see eye to eye. Like, for example, all those horror movies that we all loved back in the 80s and 90s, critics normally said thumb their noses at them. In his review for the Hollywood Reporter, chief film critic David Rooney writes of Rebel Moon. This is a derivative, crazy quilt endeavor loaded with enough plot to plug up a black hole, but only the most feebly drawn characters to do the work. Okay, perhaps the harshest evisceration for Rebel Moon, currently holding a 26% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, comes from the IndieWire, which gives the moon a D minus grade and dubs it Snyder's worst film. Well, I guess the audiences will have to make their minds. The Guardian gives it a 1 of 5 stars and deems it an ugly, unforgivably dull, and self-serious mess. The Independent opts for the same star rating and calls the movie a mess of imaginary imagery. Some of its attempts to shock congregated largely around the idea that might look good in a trailer. According to the Los Angeles Times, Rebel Moon is too invested in the table setting of a to be fully enjoyed on its own. At times, feeling more like a studio presentation deck than a piece of organic storytelling. And the Daily Beast noted that as the first of 2 films, The Child of Fire is all for more depressing uh all the more depressing for not even properly concludes its painfully shallow tale. Yikes. These people are not holding back. And in a relatively positive 3 out of 5 reveal, the UK's Total Film noted fans of Snyder's heightened brand of stern, muscular filmmaking won't be left wanting. And while the performances rarely extend beyond two-dimensional archetypes, there's still fun to be had with Charlie Hunnam's uh, sorry. Insogient turns as a wily pilot of the Han Solo school. A number of the unfavorable reviews acknowledge that the second film in the saga could help the project as a whole feel more satisfying, and Snyder himself has previously stated that he is planning for a longer director's cut. Oh dear lord, stop it with these stupid director's cut. We're tired of freaking 3-hour long movies, 3 and 4 hour long movies. We want to just enjoy a movie for about maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. The filmmaker is well known for his work as existing IP, including the 2004 remake of Dawn of the Dead. It was okay, but I prefer the original. His adaptation of the graphic novel 300, which that was okay. That was fun. Watchmen, I did enjoy that one, and his DC film like the Justice League. I've watched it once. I haven't watched it again. Maybe I'll give it which was given a 4-hour director's cut on HBO Max after a noisy fan campaign. Uh, I need to go back and watch that. There is a black and white version out there too. So I need to go back and rewatch that, see how I feel about it again. The director's cut is close to an hour of extra content. So I think it's a legitimate extended universe version. Snyder previously said, you really get to see a lot. It's just more paint in all the way. Then why don't you just freaking release the director's cut as the legitimate cut and just call it a day? I don't understand why you have to do it twice. I don't know, folks. What do you think? Do you think? Do you folks think that we should have? I don't know. Should we do these director's cut and theatrical releases on streaming? Should we just do if a director is making something for for streaming services? Should they just do the freaking the movie itself, the full movie itself, instead of just doing 2 releases? I don't know. I just find it kind of silly. I just do one, please. Just one release. You don't need 2. Okay. Moving on. Moving on. Everyone knows this. This has been a popular series, sci-fi series that dates back all the way to the 70s. The Planet of the Apes series. It's been around for a long time. You got, I think, 4 movies in the original run, as well as a spin-off TV series. You have a remake that came out in the 2000s or the late 90s, 2000s by Tim Burton. Yes, Tim Burton. And then you have the remake series that came out in the 2010s, uh, which this movie is a continuation of. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, set 300 years after Caesar's death. Uh, so interesting. I've only watched the first one. I have not seen the following two. We get a cool new image of King of the Planet of the Apes, and details including the film is set 300 years after the death of Caesar from War of the Planet of the Apes. The details come via the latest issue of Empire magazine, which has a feature article and cover on the movie with new looks at Proximus Caesar, played by Kevin Durant. On the cover, seemingly the film's villain and an image of Noah, played by Owen Tiga, described as Kingdom's new young ape hero. So I'm guessing this is Noah. Kind of, I'm actually kind of liking the CGI. Looks cool. Noah discovers his legacy. Noah has no idea who that is. Tego, yeah, this guy said as of Caesar from the previous trilogy. He added, part of his journey is discovering of what legacy and its various interpretations. Noah has to make sense of what it all means. And then here's the Empire cover with Proximus Caesar. Proximus Caesar has his own agenda. Does happen to remember who Caesar is, but is said to have his own agenda at play. Caesar's almost a religious figure, and Proximus has taken on the name Caesar because it is the highest position held in ape society, said Durand. And that's very much similar to, say, in in the succeeding kingdoms after the fall of the Roman Empire, the Eastern Roman empires, in and also in the Roman Empire itself. So after a series of conflicts, the Roman Empire restructured itself to dividing itself into two empires, and the leaders of these two empires were called Augustus, and their kind of their successor would be called Caesars. And then you have various titles that some succeeding kingdoms kind of took on. So, for example, the Slavic Tsar title that was used by, for example, the Tsardom of Bulgaria and the Tsardom of Russia, and later the Russian Empire, after they abandoned emperor because they thought it was too Western. They would call themselves czars, which is a Slavic interpretation of the word Caesar. And then the name Kaiser, which is the title of the former uh, German emperor, is a derivative of Caesar as well. So Caesar has a lot of pull because of Julius Caesar, Octavius Caesar, and all of them. Durand continued, it was a self-proclaimed proclamation that was achieved by any means necessary to ensure that apes continue to evolve, as you're seeing the influence of the evolution of what Caesar left, and like in every morsel of human society, there's always some kind of tyrant who comes along and scares everyone into believing them. And I mean, in the original show, in the original movies, you did have kind of a religious monument to Caesar, uh, to their Caesar, as well as kind of like this reverence to Caesar in the succeeding films. Um, not the fourth movie. Okay. Director Wes Ball also said King of the Planet of the Apes isn't the fourth movie, but something new. So this is supposed to be some kind of spin-off, I guess. From the beginning, we thought about this as a trilogy," said Ball. "We had these grand ideas of where it could go ultimately, and how it could fit into a legacy of these films, of these movies. So I'm certainly talking to the studios right now about the next story. Those last three movies were about the end of something. They are about the end of the God dang nabbit. Hold on one second. Oh, by the way, cool. Actually, looks kind of cool. You can see a little bit of the what's left behind of human civilization after we all died off. Anyways, uh, they were about the end of this Moses story. They were about the end of humanity, he explained. And we thought from the ashes of those previous movies, we're going to grow a new tree to climb. The issue of Empire magazine features interviews with the director Wes Ball, star Owen Teague, Kevin Durand, writer Rick Jaffa, and Amanda Silver, writers. Also featured in the issue includes brand new images, never before seen concept art, and behind the scenes looks. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes gets released on Memorial Day weekend, starting May 24th, 2024. So, yeah, maybe I may see this. It doesn't look too bad. Now, if anyone has been paying attention to Twitter over the week, you probably saw the little drama that with Twitch, the streaming service Twitch, where everyone likes to go for video game streams and stuff like that. Well, besides video games, Twitch is also very well known for their suggestive content involving the human body. There's plenty of young women, beautiful, attractive women. Some are not. Who will they don't openly reveal themselves, or they'll be suggestive in the reveals, or there will be wear bikinis. That's where you get like the hot tub girls, the ethos basically, uh, who prey uh, on sad, lonely young men, and well, some are young men, older men, and boys. Well, recently, one Twitch streamer got a little bit of trouble after she kind of made the innuendo that she was revealing too much, and so Twitch kind of was about to give her the shaft until she made a hullabaloo about it, and so Twitch decided to alter their terms of services that would allow uh, basically softcore and high insidious, basically allow softcore porn on their site under the description of like body art and stuff like that. Well, about recently they kind of completely completely undid that. Uh, from banning the comics, Twitch immediately reverses course on loosening of sexual content policies. Depictions of real or fictional nudity once again banned. Yeah, people were not happy about that, except unless you were a sexually deprived deviant. Following a reportedly outpouring of community concern against controversial changes to their primarily teenage male occupied platform. Yes. Twitch has announced that they will be doing a full 180 regarding its recently relaxing of its sexual content policies. Best decision that they probably made. First unveiled on December 13th in an ostensibly attempt to protect the predatory practices of the sexually explicit female streamers who constitute one of the biggest revenue streams, said modifications to Twitch's policies declared that some types of content that were prohibited will now be allowed on Twitch. It appears if appropriately labeled. Under this new policy, Twitch now allowed for content that deliberately highlighted breasts, buttocks, or pelvic regions, This first change specifically made because the sites believed the former sexually suggestive content policy was now out of line with the industry's standards and resulted in a female presenting streamers being disproportionately penalized. They're trying to be naked on stream and get money from sad, lonely boys and men. That's not disproportionate. Body writing on female presenting breasts. Oh, you freaking got it. You seriously said female presenting? And or buttocks, regardless of gender, fictionalized, drawn, animated, or sculpted. Fully exposed female presenting breasts and or genitalia or buttocks regardless of gender, and exotic dances that involve disrobing or disrobing gestures such as stripteases to be streamed on the site as long as it is labeled with a sexual content tag. Yeah, like that's actually going to be followed, and like that is actually going to prevent any teenager from going over there. Dear Lord, people. Meanwhile, the so-called popular dances such as twerking, grinding, or pole dancing no longer require any explicit tagging whatsoever. Seriously, people, I am happy that they reversed this because this is stupid stuff. However, the exploitative allowances were ultimately not long for this world, as just 2 days after they were announced, the site's administration undertook a full reverse of the above loosening of their rules. Our primary goal is making these updates was to make our guidelines easier to understand and enforce. No, you wanted to freaking have a piece of the pie that these freaking sexual deviants wanted to take. Ugh. Explained Twitch CEO Dan Clancy in a December 15th blog post explaining the site's internal thoughts process. Part of this update includes changes to how we treat fictionalized nudity. For years, through user voice and the conversations, we heard from artists that our content policies were limiting. Well, when it comes to showing too much, yes, it should be limiting, especially when you don't do any stupid age verification for your users. And making this update, we are trying to be responsive to these requests and allow the thriving artist community of Twitch to utilize the human form in their art. Flashing someone is not art. It is called trying to get an arousal out of someone so you get money. Yeah, the targeting of the younger audience is really part of what bothers me. I agree. I very much agree. Where was I? Noting how much the new content created under the updated policy had been met with community concern, Clancy then admitted, "I wonder why. These are concerns we share. Upon reflecting, we have decided that we went too far with these changes." Yes, you did. In fact, actually, what you should do is go in the opposite direction, making them more strict. To this end, the Twitch executive revealed, effective today, we are rolling back the artistic nudity changes. Good idea. Moving forward, depictions of real or fictional nudity won't be allowed on Twitch. Good idea, regardless of the medium. Yes. Now do more, please. Because, like I said, you have young people on these sites, and you don't do any age verification. Offering two further clarifications regarding the reversal, Clancy affirmed both that this restriction does not apply to mature rated games, and we aren't making any other changes to the updated sexual content policies. It will take a few days for both this blog and the new community guidelines to be translated, concluded Clancy. While I wish we would have predicted this outcome, if you listen to your audience instead of the freaking content creators, you probably would have saw this coming. Part of our job is to make adjustments that serve the community. I apologize for the confusion that this updates has caused. Seriously, people. Okay, that was all. This whole stupid comment of, while I wish we would have predicted the outcome, just go online and see how many people, and just throw out there, would you be okay with kids seeing naked people, and see how people react. It's a dead giveaway as to how people are going to react. No one wants their child, or a child in general, unless they're a freak, to see a naked person. People, please. We're not that gone yet. Okay. Another thing that will probably make me a little annoyed and frustrated and stuff like that. I don't know why I'm doing this. The upcoming American Society of Magical N Words movie shamelessly describes white people as the most dangerous animals on the planet by Bounding into Comics. The American Society, on an upcoming self-described comedy produced by Focus Feature, was recently released its first trailer, shamelessly describing white people as the most dangerous animals on the planet. I don't know if you kind of follow the statistics prior to the FBI stop reporting those statistics. It kind of doesn't say that. Actually says the opposite. Making the directorial debut, comedian Kobe Libby, maybe he shouldn't do any more after this, is at the helm of the upcoming satirical film starring Justin Smith, Detective Pikachu, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. I don't like this guy's credits because or his roles in other movies. He was very if I remember correctly, I think he was the black guy from the Jurassic World movies, and he was very annoying. And fellow comedian David Allen Greer from Blankman, Clifford the Big Red Dog. I never saw that one, and I don't hear that. I've never heard of that one. The American Society is a fresh satirical comedy about a young man, Aaron, who is recruited into a secret society of magical black people who dedicate their lives to cause of utmost importance, making white people's lives easier. I know this is supposed to be a satire movie, but wow. Oh my, oh my. The trailer introduces us to Smith's character, who appears to be a new recruit of the American Society, being trained by Greer's character. The specific line of dialogue labeling white people as dangerous animals is uttered by Greer halfway through the trailer, as his character prepares to explain what the mission of the Magical Society is, revealing the main goal is to keep white people happy, with from their discomfort levels being measured in a white tears. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, 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 yep. What's the most dangerous animal on the planet? He rhetorically asks, right after Smith's character replies with shark. Well, no. He is immediately corrected by Greer, who says white people when they feel uncomfortable. I'm going to say no to that. White people feel uncomfortable precedes a lot of bad stuff for us. He continued. That's why fight. We fight white discomfort every day, because the happier they are, the safer we are. I don't know about that. I think if you kind of move out of the big cities, I think you'd be a little more safer. In an interview with Black Entertainment Television, Libby provides more details about this motivation to most of the film. The American Society reveals that he was not a fan of these particular types of stories. Why? It all sort of started with magical trope. The director could professed. I'm sure you're familiar with it, but just to define it on my own terms, I think of the magical trope as a kind of stock black character, a stock black best friend character who is only focused on helping the white hero. Okay, whatever. He went on, they didn't really have an inner life, and they don't have their own things going on. They're just relentlessly focused on helping the white character grow in most cases, and I always thought that this was so funny. For whatever reason, the idea that there's a white writer who pictures the thing we do is in the morning is getting up and trying to help them. No one does this. No one does that. No, this is stupid reasoning. This is really, I mean, seriously, people. White people don't wake up and think the world revolves around us. We don't think that seriously. It's, uh, I found it so absurd and incorrect and funny that I wanted to blow it out and criticize it. Okay, I actually, you know what? I'm actually kind of liking that idea, but also use it as a way to talk about other stuff. Oh no. Libby further explains what it's like to grow up as a black person in culture and some of the wild and fantastical things that we have to do to survive. To me, it's the origin story of the film. Oh, like I said, move out of the big cities, see what happens. You kind of get a little more safer after that. Libby would go on to reveal that he's not concerned about the audience not understanding the message he's trying to convey convey with the movie. Well, then it's not going to be a success, and you're going to complain about it. You're going to say that we're all racist, especially a film with such a title. Hmm. Not particularly because it's one of those things that, like, even if you don't know the term, you know, told BET, it's Spike Lee's term. It's one who coined it. Uh, you know, the character that's just there to be nebulously black in the background. There may have been situations like that in the past, but not in today's society. Today's society, it's now the white character that gets shunted. He elaborated, they're not really a person, and we all can picture it. Beyond the movie, we all know what it's like to feel pushed to the side and having somebody else's pushed to the front. Yeah, yeah, we kind of know that because we're kind of feeling that today. As of writing, the official trailer shared the focus features. The YouTube channel has been given a 2.7 thousand thumbs up and a dislike over 25,000. I wonder why. With times with 2,282,448 views and counting. Yeah, I wonder why. I seriously wonder why. Sarcasm, people. Sarcasm. Yeah. To the surprise of the absolutely no one, the trailer of the American Society has been overwhelmingly disliked by viewers who have several criticisms. The film's promise called out its lack of tact and accused it of prompting racial division. From this person, the movie should be nicknamed the Society of Magical Racism. Imagine trying to buy a ticket for this. The man is going to be this is going to be bomb harm. Read the following YouTube user. This one says, it's nice to see so many of us coming together to express our disappointment and terrible just the uh, disappointing and terrible just the concept of this is and how baffling it is that it was ever made. Another one is, this is an experiment for everyone involved, declared yada yada yada. How do you have how do you even explain to someone that you agreed to be in this? Make it, screen it, just wow. Let's see here. Making a mockery of the trailer as a whole. This person says, still waiting on magic black person to show up and comfort me from watching this movie. Oh. Oh, I like that. That's my favorite so far. My theory about this movie is that is that it is was originally a satire comedy first, but someone in the writer room got confused. Oh, YouTube commenters are so fun. This is absolutely insane, pointed out Roger Rabbit 3699. I can't believe so many people thought this was a good idea. I know. There's nobody creative in Hollywood anymore. I love the part where Nick Fury shows up and says, "Black girl magic." Another user making allusion to the real line of dialogue uttered by Disney's abysmal box office flop, The Marvels. A classic story of wonder, romance, and racial division. Simply declared Polsky Ogar. Okay, forgive me, including a happy emoji. Okay, folks. What do you guys think about this movie? Are you gonna go see it? Are you gonna laugh at it, or are you just don't really give a damn and you just want to move on with your life? Either answer is acceptable. Now, moving into the realm of other things that are new. Next year is a horror movie. I'm a big horror movie fan, so this kind of caught my attention. So hopefully, let's see here. If they had done this movie as a satire, it could have been funny. It's supposed to be a satire, but I don't. And with current day Hollywood, they can't do satires or comedies anymore. They can't. They can't. It's projected as a satire. They claim that it's a satire, but it's not. But anyways, moving on. This caught my attention a little bit. It's reported by Clownfish TV. So YouTuber Ashens is making a horror movie called Turn Back. So, uh, Stuart Ashen, better known as Ashens on YouTube, is ready to make another movie following his previous gaming centric film, Ashens and the Quest for the Game Child, and Ashens and the Quest of the Game Child. Ashens and the Quest for the Game Child, and Ashens and the Quest for Game Child. Oh, okay. The entertainer wants to take a stab at horror genre. As a longtime horror fan of the genre journalist, this is done by Mark Fallon. Okay. In fact, Ashton and I spoke briefly about this during our interview earlier this year. So, if you find this article, go click on that. Listen to the article. So far, the Kickstarter campaign for the horror movie Turn Back was amassed over 125,000 with 1K plus backers. It was exceeded it's 1,200 or 1,000 or 122K goal. But we all know the filming is not an easy or cheap process. Yes, sometimes you have to go over, sometimes they go over budget when things don't go right. So what's the story? Here's Ashton's own words. I really don't want to give too much away and spoil things, but obviously you're not going to back something if you don't if I don't tell you anything about it. I'm based here in Norwich in Norwich in east of England, and part of our local folklore is the infamous Black Shuck. It's an typical demon story with a deep mythology with a person connected to me, perhaps perfect to base our horror plot around. The legend goes that Black Shuck is a huge ghostly demonic. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Is a ghostly demonic hound that roams the East Anglian countryside, and laying eyes on it can be an omen of impending death. If you hear its howl, whatever you do, close your eyes. That is kind of terrifying. The myth dates all the way back to the 12th century, and I want to bring it up to date and bring Black Shuck into the modern world. And as I said, we're going to do it all in a reverse. The first scene in the film will be the last scene in the narrative, and so on, in a similar way to films like Memento or 500 Days of Summer. But trust me, you won't even have seen it quite like this. This will not be a gimmick. It is fundamental to the story. Our hope is that once you get to the end, it's kind of a film you'll be thinking about for days afterwards and want to watch again. I'm seriously so excited about it. I'm actually kind of excited about this too. There is still 28 days left of the to back turn back. The various pledges goals include things like copies of the film via digital or Blu-ray. However, the top donations of £200 will capture the genius certified game child. Be sure to check out Ashton's YouTube channel for many sofa-based tat reviews and more. So I may actually go and fund this. This actually kind of sounds cool. This actually sounds like a really good idea. I don't know. Has any of you horror lovers out there that watch this? Are you at all? Does this at all tickle your fancy? Actually, it kind of does for me. Along with that, another movie trailer that was released recently over the last week kind of made a few people kind of annoyed. Let's see here. There we are. Reported by Geeks and Gamers. Civil War trailer presents a divided America. So yes, so last week a trailer for a movie called Civil War was released, and it's about the United States in their second Civil War, and you have the somehow California and Texas are allied as the Western Alliance or something, and then you have the Florida Alliance in the South. And then you got the United States of America, who's fighting the two. I don't know. It's doesn't make any sense. Today, A24 released a trailer for their upcoming sci-fi action film Civil War, written and directed by Alex Garland, who did Sunshine, 28 Days Later, Ex Machina, and Dread. Civil War takes place in the future when tensions in the United States have risen so far that states are seceding from the Union, and the government goes to war with its citizens. Excuse me. Kristen Dunst, Nick Offerman, Jesse Pullman, Wagner Mora, and Stephen Michael McKinley Henderson and Silly Spaney star in the film. Civil War will arrive in theaters on April 26th, 2024, and you can see the film trailer below. So it's no wonder that the movie is coming out next year. Curious about that. I wonder what's happening next year that the reason why they're releasing the movie. Sorry, excuse me. Civil War could be a great movie, but that will largely depend on whether it's a story about a grander idea or a piece of propaganda, which, based upon how Hollywood has been acting as of, I don't know, the last 10 years or so. Well, less than 10 years, but you know what I mean. It's more likely, odds are, is it's leaning towards why in the world is he got, why? I just noticed that. Why? Anyways, it more than likely leans in the direction of propaganda, unfortunately. It could, yeah, like I said, I agree that it could be a good idea, but yeah, the idea of the nation being torn apart and what that may lead to is a fascinating topic from which you can spin a cool and thought-provoking action movie. The thought of the government launching an attack on its own citizens is scary, as the prospect of animosity between sections of the American growing to the point of where people are actually at war with each other. But you lose all the potential when you set a clear party delineation or make the president a stand-in for a real political figure. I wonder who this political figure is going to be, and we all know who it would be. Based on the trailer, it looks like Civil War is showing restraint in that area. Nobody seems like a thinly veiled substitute for an actual person, and making the seceding states, Texas and California, suggests they're eschewing a partisan divide. The trailer touches on a number of potential compelling issues, like people who want to stay out of the conflict and the role of the new media in shaping public opinion. It could be deceptive editing, but if it holds, Civil War could be a thoughtful and exciting action film. I love the idea of Nick Offerman playing the president, who could see him as someone projecting the strength and charisma it takes to win an election. The possibility of ever handle the job or not, as the case may be. And being president of the United States is a lot of work. It takes a lot out of you, uh, unless you're Brandon, who decides to who sleeps the most of the day away. The filmmaking itself looks good too. I love the shot of the helicopter making its way through DC with Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument in the background. I hope this is good, but it's going to take a lot of finger crossing. I do agree. Uh, let's see here. What are people saying? Bright green hair. Does he have bright green hair? I don't know. Bright green or blonde. I can't really tell. It makes you wonder why he bothers with the camo. That is very true. Their military has been loosening restrictions on what people should be wearing or not wearing, but like whether they should be wearing jewelry, fingernail polish, and having how their hair is done. This is normally stuff that's done for their safety and for their protection, stuff like that. But seriously, why it's not so smart. I know. Let's I don't know. What do you guys feel like? Do you Are you excited for this movie? Are you got your fingers crossed that it's going to be something decent and thought provoking, or are you just like this is going to be a horrible movie? Let me know in the comment section below. We've been going for an hour and a half now. I think I'm going to call it there. Relax a little bit before I have to go to bed and then have to start my whole week again. Besides all, well, yeah. But for those that have popped in and watched, Mrs. Tabletop and Insidious Bliss, thanks for showing up. Everyone else that is going to watch this later on, thank you too. And remember to like, comment, subscribe if you've not. And see y'all around. God bless.